Hey there, Jared back with the next installment in our Zapier Training Series. This episode features a conversation with CompanyCam customer and Zapier power user, Eric Weddle of Weddle Sons Roofing. Eric is CFO of Weddle Sons and has used Zapier to help scale their business, which now has offices in 3 states. Weddle Sons started using Zapier because they couldn't find an all-in-one CRM to do all the things that they needed. In addition to CompanyCam, they use Pipedrive, Box, GoCanvas, and Quickbooks. Let's jump into that conversation now and see what he has to say about Zapier. Well, hi, Eric. Thanks for taking some time to jump on a call here and talk through all things Zapier.
Sounds good. Eager to talk. It's actually a pretty easy subject to talk about for me. So,
just simple stuff. What's your business and what's your role there? What do you do there?
Sure. I guess my title is CFO. I still like to put on a tool belt once in a while when I can. So we're a roofing and solar business. We do roof replacements and service. So it's just thinking about how do we do our business today? How do we scale to be bigger and better in the future? And what are the tools that will help us get there?
So as you began this journey, what software were you hoping to connect CompanyCam with?
For a long time, so we used Pipedrive as our CRM. It's not a construction-oriented CRM. It's certainly not roofing industry-centric. I hoped for a long time that they would have a better built-in file and photo management component of the CRM, and that never materialized. I'd been aware of CompanyCam for probably even longer than I'd been aware of Pipedrive as a CRM. What I wanted to do was add CompanyCam as something that we used every day, but have it tied to our CRM so that they worked closely in harmony. So, our CRM triggers the creation of a project in CompanyCam now. And so when we get to a certain stage, that will trigger the creation, and it will also bring back the URL to that CompanyCam job and stick it in the CRM in a details column. And so anytime that I'm looking at projects, I can go straight to the CRM, I can pull up a project, and with one click, I can have the CompanyCam dashboard open to that project. I'm working with a bunch of roofers using cell phones. And so one reason why it was important for us to connect the two is that the client, the location, all of this information already existed in the CRM. I didn't want someone to be trying to type it in again, making mistakes, making typos, misspelling things, and wasting time when it already exists. And so that's kind of the philosophy we have in all of our systems, is once data exists somewhere in the system, it should never have to be re-entered. It should only be pushed or pulled to wherever it's needed. Zapier and CompanyCam's integration of that really makes it really seamless. It's just basically bolting it onto our existing processes.
And that has been working pretty well for you, as far as pretty simple for your team to be able to grasp what's going on and the functionality of it?
Yeah, it was really simple. We basically went from never having used it to telling our entire team, use this every day. They didn't really have to think about it. They just had to open their app, and because of the geolocation feature of CompanyCam, the project was already right there. Being able to accurately push that geographic information made it so seamless to use for our team. All they really had to do is just log in the first time, open their app, and it was a no-brainer from there.
And that's great if you know within your system that if a name of a project, in our case, and an address is getting into Pipedrive, that's the only place it can start. You minimize duplicate projects and complications. So tell me about, if you can name some of them, maybe what Zaps have you set up? It sounds like you have a lot of them, so it may be hard to remember.
We do. So, like I said, our CRM is kind of our clearinghouse. So it tends to be the thing that triggers the start of Zaps, that triggers automations. It also is often the receiving. It pushes information to other platforms. It receives information from other platforms. And so as a job works its way through the CRM in sequence, it will trigger and receive actions from many Zaps throughout that process. And so as an example, from the moment that a client fills out a lead form on our website, or someone in the office fills out a lead form on the phone to our website, that pushes the information into our CRM, but it goes through Zapier because we have all these different locations. And so we can take one form and based on information on that form, basically route it a number of different ways using Zapier as the middleman. We do a number of other things with file that are related to file storage. So if clients email us files, we have ways to strip those and upload them to the right folder. We use it for setting up time tracking projects. So in our time tracking software, it also has a similar geolocation function. And so when a project's getting close to the point where we know we'll have billable hours on it, it pushes that job out to the time tracking. We push client information over to Quickbooks at the appropriate time. We track status of invoices. So there's some two-way between our CRM and Quickbooks. As we get invoices emailed from our major suppliers, figuring out ways to go in, split them up. So a lot of times we'll get a PDF with 15 invoices in it. And we can use Zapier to split that into 15 individual files, parse the files to find out which supplier it is and route it a certain way, parse the file to figure out which branch it's related to, find some of the key data like the invoice number, rename the file so it has the date and the invoice number in the name of the file and stick it in the right place. And I haven't quite finished this, but it's possible then to even push that bill into QuickBooks without ever having to have a human intervene. So it's very cool stuff.
So glad to hear it's making your life easier and it's helping everybody else's job to be easier as well. What would you tell folks who are hesitant to use Zapier?
You can just start really simple and just add a little bit at a time to get really familiar with it. If I'm having someone start new, I'll just assign them some really simple task. It's like adding a row in Excel and copying the data somewhere. You can start unbelievably simply and then just iterate and add one more thing and add one more thing. And before long, you get really familiar and really comfortable with it.
That's been my experience as well. And good to hear that's yours as well as those that you're training. Awesome, Eric. Thank you so much for your time, and it's fun to hear how much use you've gotten out of Zapier and hear your experience with it, and excited to see what else you've got.
It's been good. Appreciate you guys at CompanyCam. Got a great product, and it's been real big for us, so appreciate it.